Welcome back. Today we're going to be covering an oil catch can install on my personal ScatPack. The install is going to be the same for any kind of hemi, the 5.7 or the 6.4. 6.1's about the same. Hellcat's going to be a little different. And I see a lot of people out there who actually ask me about, the JLT catch can, all these fancy name brand catch cans that are like $200, $250. So I got this one from Amazon. It was like $35, and this is basically how it came. So we have the catch can itself, some of the hardware, and two hoses. Now I have seen some catch cans come without it pre-assembled, so this is basically assembled. So all we're doing is we're just basically just screwing this into the cylinder head, connecting the hoses to the manifold. And that's it. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to obviously open the hood. If you have valve covers, you want to go ahead and take those off. I personally don't have valve covers because I broke one of them, so go figure. But the catch can is actually mounting here with the bolt that's provided in the kit, and then we're just taking this hose off on each side. So you can literally just wiggle it off there, and if it doesn't wiggle, I'll show you how to get it off. You might have a bracket, like a little Christmas tree, that's holding this wire harness to the cylinder head. You want to go ahead and pull it off. I already pulled mine off and broke it for something else that I did. So mine's not there, but you just literally pry that out, and then we can get started with everything else. Okay, before we go any further, let's check out the quality of this so-called catch can from Amazon. It's not too bad. So here's the filtering aspect of it. You even have a drain port down at the bottom in case you don't want to completely remove the canister while it's installed in the vehicle. So overall $35. This is going to get the job done. It's got a nice black finish, came with all the right hardware, hoses are good quality, came with the needed barbs, grade 8.8 bolt, even came with like a spacer / washer. All right, so first step is we're going to want to take off this hose. It's going to be vacuum sealed on there pretty tight, so I like to just use a simple O-ring removal tool or any kind of pick. You basically just want to get under there, and then once you break that seal, you can pop it right off. Same thing on the other side. Now you don't want to do it on this side here, you want to do it on this back side. See that I've got it under there, and I'm just going to kind of rotate down, break that seal, and I can twist this piece right off. Next up, we're going to want to actually install the catch can itself. So how it works is you put the bolt through first, your spacer / washer on the back side. And we're going to go ahead and thread that by hand just to get it on there. Okay. Okay. That bolt is a 12mm. You can use a wrench, but I like to use power tools when available. It's just easier to get the install done. You kind of want to hold it in place as you tighten it down. That's it. Now with that taken care of, you want to come back to the piece you removed. And we want to take off these rubber fittings. So there's the 90. And then the straight fitting. Just kind of have to wiggle it off. And then we're going to put these back on the manifold. Now the reason I do it this way is just because it's easier to remove and I don't break anything. So just the exact same way it was on. There we go. Now we're going to take our 2 straight barbs, and those are actually going to go here. So you want to make sure that you're pushing it in right along that midpoint where there's no barb. Same thing on the back side. Nice and snug. So you can go shortest to shortest here and cut this, and then you can go shortest to shortest. Me personally, I like to do the shortest distance possible. So the smaller of the 2 hoses that came in the kit, I'm gonna put here. Just because it's just already got that natural bend to it, so it's just gonna go there. So what you want to do is you want to take one of the caps, fit it over the end, and you're going to work this onto the barb. There you go. And over here you kind of want to measure out the size that you need. So I'm probably going to need to cut mine right about here. So I can swing this around. I'm going to cut right about here. I'm going to make the cut. I'm going to put the barb on the end. Go, nice and tight. So now this side is pretty self-explanatory. So now for the shorter side, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna measure out, make a cut. Got my shorter piece. So I'm gonna fray those ends, put those back in there, cap the other side, and same thing. And just like that, I got a nice seamless catch can install. One final torque down. All right, so you can see how it looks from the side. Nice clean hoses, no kinks, no crazy bends. So, I mean, for $35, that's gonna do a phenomenal job. I'm gonna put some miles on the car, kind of check back in with you guys, show you how much actually comes out, and then we'll do a little review here in a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and answer a couple questions really quick. So question 1, why would you need a catch can? Well, when you look at how the motor works, obviously these are direct injected engines, so the fuel is being sprayed right through the cylinder. Not necessarily at the valve, so we get a lot of carbon buildup, a lot of what is called blow-by that passes through into the crankcase ventilation system, and there's actually a valve here, this purge valve, And what it does is it lets that blow by back in to be recycled back through the intake. A lot of debris, a lot of oil vapor is then recycled back through the motor. That can kill fuel economy, it can ruin performance. So what this system does is it filters out the debris, the oil vapors, and works as a cleaner, and then that new cleaner air is then sucked back through the intake. So this can result in a cleaner intake, less oil being deposited back into the cylinder. It can do all kinds of things. So I've even pulled off a few manifolds to do some work on them, and we have oil that is basically collected on the passenger side of the cylinder head, or the motor I should say, on the top of the cylinder head. Whereas on this side, there really isn't that much because the PCV system is actually on this side. So in general, I mean, you should just do it anyways. Helps keep the motor clean, and who wouldn't want a cleaner motor? On top of that, if you know anyone with one, make sure that they're emptying this out. So it's always a good idea to dump this out when you have any kind of oil change or routine maintenance that you do. So that'll be it for the catch can install. Something that's super simple, super easy. I mean, $35, maybe 10 minutes of your time, if that. Don't need any kind of special tools. All I really used was a blade to cut the hose down to size and a 12mm socket to fasten that bolt. Maybe a flathead to remove the Christmas tree that's there from the factory, but other than that, super simple. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate everyone that's been supporting the channel lately. Do just kind of want to remind you, I am giving away a ported 392 manifold. It's bare, but I do have the map sensor. I got gaskets for it. I got new bolts. I even got a fuel rail if you want it. $10 gets you an entry. I also send you 2 decals to thank you for showing your support. I'm planning on running this raffle for couple more weeks. I got about 30 entries in, so you know, get those entries in and you could get yourself a ported manifold for as little as $10 and maybe some shipping if you know I have to ship it out to you. But then again, thank everyone for your support. To the next one.